What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Pat Cave. Have another unboxing for you today. This is the Mondo Real Ghostbusters Ray Stantz figure. This is just the single figure. This isn't the 2-pack collector's edition. Although I still think it's strange that they're not all collector's editions, because as soon as they sell out, they're pretty much gone and impossible to get without paying secondhand prices. We're going to go ahead and unbox this guy and take a look at it and see if it's any different from the other figures. Check the quality. I know Winston, I really love that figure. I remember thinking that his jumpsuit, the color was a little bit different than I thought it would be, and I actually kind of really like the color that it is. And I'm sure they were pretty careful about how they went about that with prototypes and things. It has an interesting sheen to it. And you know, looking back and watching the cartoon, I think his jumpsuit looks almost like a baby blue color. Nah, not baby blue, maybe like a mint color, which is pretty much what they did. But I remember thinking that one was a little different than the cartoon, but I could, you know, this is just like a small thing that I noticed. You know, who the hell knows if I'm right or not. I think all the figures really are excel for what they are. But let's go ahead and take a look and pop this guy open. All right, so here's the box. Just the usual packaging. Real Ghostbusters Ray Stantz, 1/12 scale figure. Nothing too special about the packaging, at least the box that it shipped in. As you know, the rest of it is quite a bit different. I think I mentioned before too how there's a lot of people that are pretty big into saving packaging. And I don't know, I just have never been one of the people that do that. I know that if you're planning to resell things, that it's always recommended that you do save the packaging for later, but I think for me, it's just a space thing, you know. My house isn't massive. I mean, I have some space compared to some people, but definitely not as near as other people. And I think I just prefer to like get rid of the boxes a lot of times, just so I have some extra space to work with. That being said, these figures are, you know, quite a bit more, I'm sure, with the original packaging, which is why I've been saving these. These figures, like these single ones, aren't too big of a deal, but if you have something like those 2-packs, those boxes are pretty freaking huge. And I don't know, I just don't like having it laying around my house, having to store it in my garage. It just slowly fills up everything. But lo and behold, I still have all the Ghostbuster figure packaging that I've purchased thus far, or you know, been gifted. Mondo has some really beautiful packaging that they put together. Jeez, what is going on here? Get out there. There we go. All right, so throw that away, keep this. And for anyone that hasn't seen these before, the packaging is kind of set up to look like a ghost trap from the RGB cartoon. Really cool looking, I think. It was a really good idea that they did that, I think. Pretty dope. And it's magnetic too, so I guess if a store was, for instance, selling these figures, you know, just in their storefront or whatever, you could always have the display window open and see kind of the contents inside. And this is how these are set up in particular. It has some tissue paper there to protect the window, which is kind of a cool little detail. Now, I think I mentioned this, but I didn't get Egon. I think he's the one that I ended up missing out on. And these are, I think I said this, these are magnetized too, these little windows. So they have a nice solid click when you close them. And got a pull tab on the back. This has a little bit of the artist information here, and packaging, designers, all that stuff. Mondo has been cranking out some really cool figures lately. I had seen those ones from Rocko's Modern Life. I watched Nickelodeon growing up. Like, I was a huge Nickelodeon person, or kid, I guess. So like Doug, Rocko's Modern Life, you know, all those cartoon shows from back in the day, Hey Arnold. I really, really enjoyed those, and I had seen that Rocko's Modern Life figure thing that was coming out, the pack that had, like, you know, Heifer in there, and Phil, I think was the turtle's name, Filbert, and then Rocco, and then Spunky, I think was his dog's name. It's been a long time since I've watched it. I did kind of miss out on getting Beavis and Butthead. I was a little bit bummed about that. And I could have got the one with just the figures, but I wanted that one that had like the couch and the TV. But in the end, I think it just came down to being a space thing again. Those are a little bit bigger figures, and I just really don't think I have the room here right now for them, unfortunately, unless I downsize a little bit first.
Whoa, I think I just figured something out, Beavis.
What?
This sucks.
Yeah.
This sucks more than anything that has ever sucked before.
And this is what you get in the package if you just get a single figure. Let's go ahead and pop the top off here. So you have the figure himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Ray Stantz from Ghostbusters, the heart of the Ghostbusters. And these figures are just, like, every time I... Sorry about that. Head popped off. Just kind of shows how easy it is for those pieces to come apart if you want to change them out. Every time I see one of these figures, I'm just blown away by how clean they are, how well the paint's applied, the details, you know, the eyes, the eyebrows, and they just really have a nice feel to them. They don't feel like cheap crap, you know, and you definitely pay for it for what they are. You know, they're not cheap, these toys. And there was some other ones I missed out on. You know, wasn't able to get the Boogeyman or Sam Hain. Those were ones that, you know, I missed originally, and I have the Sandman and Peter. That was the only 2-pack I think I was able to get. Or no, the Sandman and Winston, and Peter was a single figure that I got. And Ray, I was kind of wondering if these figures were the height was any different. I'm assuming they're probably all pretty similar, but you got Ray in there, you got his proton pack. There's a little separate window there. Detail is off the charts, and it looks just like in the show. You know, they did a really good job with these little cords and things. It's kind of almost feels like a cord that you would have for like a charging cord, and you can tell it's pretty decent quality. And these I think just hook on here, you know, how mine were before on the other one, or they go like this. Sorry, this just has a little piece, and they go so that the button's kind of facing outwards like that. Or was it like this? I think it's like this. Yeah, like that. Nope.
No.
There we go. And that's kind of how, and I'll show you how to put that on. I kind of have went over it in my other videos, but in case anyone needs a quick refresher, there's the proton pack. These all have their own little accessories that are a little bit different. Ray comes with the goggles, which is, you know, kind of his trademark in the cartoon. You have his little mini Stay Puft figure. This was sort of his little stuffed animal that I think he slept with in the cartoon, which is a neat little detail. I like the little Easter eggs that they put in there, you know, to show that the characters they're all kind of similar in design, but they have their own little extras they come with. I don't think this probably moves much. Looks like maybe the arms might turn a little bit. Tiny little Stay Puft that comes with him. So you got that. You have, I believe this is Drool. Yeah, he looks like a happy little guy. These are just so fun. All the little details that they put into this. The sculpts are just crazy cool. And the paint, you know, they just nailed all of it. Every aspect of the figures. The one thing I'm still hoping for and holding out hope for, as I'm sure a lot of you are, is that they make the Ecto-1 into scale to this. And I'm sure they must have, you know, molded over there if it's not in development already. And then we got the little Easter hat thing. His little Easter hat, Easter bunny hat. It's another little character-specific detail. Very cool. You have the little mini ghost getting sucked into the trap as you did for the other ones. This one has like all the electricity kind of going around him. And you can, I think you can remove that. It feels like it'd be removable, but these ones I don't really display just because I like only the full-size stuff, but These are really neat little details that they have. So you got that in there. You have Ray's extra head, which is, get out of there. I got my tweezers this time. This is his head that looks more like when he's about to, the shit's about to hit the fan. He's going to do some serious ghost busting. Kind of like in the beginning of the credits where they just all are going to town. They're about to blast the ghost, trap them. It's kind of like their faces, like their fierce, determined expressions, I guess you would call it. Very cool. You know, we've got the proton stream. I think we've kind of discussed that a little bit. I think that's the one thing on this whole thing that seems a little odd to me, that they didn't do the colors accurate to the show. And I thought, like I said, there's some kind of thing I read that maybe there's something to do with copyright. I have no clue why that would be, but it could just be bullshit. Who knows? Then we've got the little plastic stand. This is just to display him, so I'll show you him with that a little bit later. And then here you have, this is kind of different, I think. They have this little separate piece where you got the trap and then the gloves, which is different, I think. On the other ones, I want to say that it was, I think even on Peter's, this wasn't a separate piece. I think they were all just kind of in the bubble here, but I don't know. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm wrong. I have it in the box, or I have that in the garage kind of put away, so I can't really recall 100%. And I don't use the gloved hands. I just kind of stick with the ones that he's got on right now. I do attach the traps, though, and put those with the proton pack, so that way I can display it. I have a little display set up so far for it. It's kind of simple, but that's the way I intended it. So I'll show you at the end how they're kind of in the display case. It doesn't have a light in it yet. I need to put a light in there, but we will do that at the end. I'll show you how that's looking. So let's see. Let me move this stuff out of here. And then we will go ahead and strap on the proton pack. Maybe put on his goggles on his head. So if you want to start with the trap, piece just slides into here. Pretty straightforward. These have like a little wire inside of them, so they're very posable. In the case of this one, I'm going to go ahead and, I think last time I had to just wrap it. I think I took a pencil or something. Maybe I'll do that on film so you can actually see how I did it compared to my other ones. Let's see, so we got Ray. I wonder how these goggles go on here. Do these, I know that he can wear them, but can they actually stay on his head? Yeah, there we go. So I think I might have him like that, because I definitely want to have his goggles on his head. I'll have to look and see how that was attached, but let's see. So for reference, let's go ahead and get out one of my other figures. All right, so here's Peter, and this is how I kind of display them. I just have him standing up, and that is how I have his trap set up on the side of this, so you can kind of get a good look. I have it wound pretty tight. I tried to match the pictures the best I could that have the, you know, the prototype photos, or like the little promotional pictures. So let's see. So we got the trap. It's going to be hooked onto here. And then I'm just gonna, I'll go down here. He seems so delicate too, but I mean the wire is holding up okay, so it's not as bad as I thought. So we're gonna want it to wrap that way, so maybe it'd be like this. Let's see. See, that worked a little better that time. It's kind of just, you gotta just play with it. It's definitely not the most, you know, if you mess with it a lot, it's gonna be a pain to have to put it on and off a million times, but kind of is what it is. Let's see. And then you got that. And I'm just gonna hook this on the back. Yep, it's too long now, so. So you get the idea. It goes like that. Then you take the pack itself. It's kind of just loose like this. It kind of curls around. And then you want to just put that over his shoulders. And then it basically just snaps in. Push the arms up, like as so. And then there's little pegs in the back here. I don't know why you can see that, but it snaps right in there. And this is something I got to point out too once I get this on here. It's kind of interesting. Let's see. So this is kind of a cool detail that it's kind of funny too. Ray is a little more portly than, so like if you took Peter, put them side by side, you can see there's definitely a discernible difference in the stomach area. Ray's got a little extra cushion there around the midsection, so they didn't just copy and paste the bodies. You know, they are slightly different. There's little tiny changes to them that, you know, otherwise you probably wouldn't notice. But in Ray's case, he's the only one of them that's a little bit more portly. Egon's taller, I believe, in the show compared to the other three, but since I don't have his figure, I can't really tell you for sure. But I thought that's pretty cool, though. Those little details, they go a long way for people that are into this stuff. And then the stands are really simple. They just have two little pegs on the bottom. And they feel solid, you know. They feel like they're going to hold on pretty well. And then that's what you get once he's all set up. That's Ray. Awesome figure. I need to get Egon still. He's the last one I need. And then the bigger ghosts, I'm going to have to try and see what I can do for those because they're just kind of way too expensive to buy now. I can't afford to shell out hundreds for a figure, like a single figure that's loose. Janine would be cool to get. And then I'm hoping to do the Ecto one and some more of the villains. I know they got Louis Tully and the green creature. God, I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head, but we'll love to get that too eventually. And they have the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive of the Citizens Ghosts, which are coming out. Can't wait to check those out too. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. This is Ray Stantz from the Ghostbusters signing off, and Pat at the Pat Cave. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.